Hey guys, this is Xavier with Notebooks.com. Today I'm taking a look at the HP EliteBook 2540p. This is a notebook that's designed for business. It's business ready. It's an awesome little computer, and it's something that you should definitely take a look at if you're a highly mobile professional. You might also want to take a look at this computer if you're a consumer and are getting a little bit frustrated with some of the shortcomings from consumer notebooks. First off, I just want to give you a quick look at what makes this computer a professional computer. To start with, this display is gorgeous. It's not glossy, it has a matte display, which means that in bright sunlight you can still read your text. This means that if you're at an airport, you don't have to shuffle around seats looking for the right seat just so you can read your emails. It's got a very bright display. I took it out in bright sunlight here in California and I was able to read it just fine. Another thing that makes this a professional grade notebook is its keyboard. This keyboard is spill resistant. It feels great. It's not quite as good as some other brands I've had, but it's far, far better than any consumer notebook. It's amongst the best, but like I said, I still prefer Lenovo's ThinkPad keyboards, which are kind of world famous. You do have a cursor here and a left-right click. These do not feel cheap or plasticky like a lot of consumer notebooks do. And even some lower end business notebooks. You do have a trackpad. It's on the small side here. This is not a functional button. This is just to lock in the LCD when you close it shut. Up top you have a little night light that pops out so you can see the keyboard. The keyboard is not backlit, so if you're on a dark airplane you will want to pop this open. You might also want to do this if you're working late at home. Of course, have a little webcam up here. Touring around the sides, you can see that this is an optical disk drive. This is a DVD player and a CD burner. This is a pretty compact system to have this optical drive. Now, not all of the 2540Ps have this. Depending on configuration, you can put an extra hard drive in there. On this side, we've got most of the ports. So we have our display port, you've got a docking connector, a Kensington lock slot, VGA, audio out. You've got a mini FireWire port. This is useful if you've got FireWire drives already, or if you have some camcorders that have a FireWire port that can come in handy. You have an SD card slot and a 34mm express card slot. Depending on how you connect to the mobile internet, this will come in handy if you've got a modem from Sprint or Verizon that uses a 34mm form factor. On the rear we have an Ethernet port, we've got an extended battery, and two more USB ports. The top lid here is very, very sturdy, it's scratch resistant, and that's really important if you want your notebook to look like new. Some plastic, some metals aren't finished quite as well as this EliteBook, so I went ahead and tried to scratch it with keys and whatnot. Let's take what we got here. Let's take a car key or a house key and just sort of scratch this up a little bit. And there's absolutely no marks whatsoever. If you did this on most notebooks, you would have all sorts of scratch marks. Here, it kind of leaves behind this little streak, but when I rub my finger across it, it disappears. Part of the way that HP makes the scratches not show up is that it's got this sort of like a textured look to it. It's not a flat color, but still, this is pretty durable. These notebooks are built to last for several years in the enterprise. If you work for a large company, for example, they're not going to buy every new employee that walks in the door a laptop. They might give a laptop to a new employee that's a year or two old, but they still want it to look like new. And all of these features on this notebook help HP accomplish that. Everything from these hinges, these are really heavy duty magnesium alloy hinges. The lid itself is very durable, so here I am smashing this with my fist pretty hard, and this is not going to damage the notebook. Now let's turn it around, and as you can see, the display is just fine. I would never want to do that to a consumer grade notebook. This thing is built for going through airport security, being dropped around a little bit. You know, it's not a rugged notebook in the sense of something like a tough book, but it will last a lot longer. You'll get a lot more value out of getting a professional grade notebook like this just for a few $100 more than a cheaper consumer grade or small business grade notebook. I do happen to have a consumer grade notebook here for comparison, and if you were to have one of these side by side, you can see there's some big differences. First off, I mean, look at the display. Like I said, on the matte display, no reflections whatsoever. You can use it out in the sunlight. Over here, I could use this to shave or fix my hair or check out my outfits. You can probably see this, my reflection and my camera in the display of this 12-inch notebook. This is actually an HP consumer grade notebook which has been since discontinued. But you know, these things, you might be able to get them for $400, $500, $600, and there's a reason for that. You don't get the durability, you don't get the pro features, and the build quality is just chintzy. Let's look at this. You can see that the keys are not going to be durable. You're not going to get the spill resistance. The trackpad's not going to be as nice. You just won't get a lot of the features that you're going to get in a pro notebook. I would not even try to beat on the lid of this notebook because I'm sure I would crack the LCD. There is a magnesium chassis that goes into here, which is why I can go ahead and hit it or drop it without worrying too much about it. This is the HP EliteBook 2540p. It is a professional notebook, and it's something that I would highly recommend to anyone that wants a really powerful, durable computer and doesn't want to have to worry about dropping the thing.